To answer your question, yes, we are two adult women. And yes, we love Bieber, and that's why we're publicly stalking him.
We're crazy.
Hey! Maybe he's what America needs. One nation under Biebs. We're gonna be two less lonely girls. We're gonna be two less lonely girls. We love Justin Bieber, and let us be clear, we're not being ironic at all.
Hosted by Corinne Fisher and Rosebud Baker.
Welcome back, everybody, to Two Less Lonely Girls.
I'm Rosebud Baker.
I'm Corinne Fisher.
And we're back.
I like the uncomfortable distance that we're sitting at. We're like a couple that's been married for 20 years and is
Yeah, we're
over
like, do you have two couches? We don't want to sit on the same couch.
Table for two. And by that, we mean two
tables.
tables.
You guys, we have so much to talk about. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is all Bieber related. Okay,
Yeah, we're doing a
We're going
Bieber.
back to our roots. Mm-hmm. Right off the top, he got married. They have cats.
Mm-hmm. Exotic cats.
They have a new song with actual iPhone footage in the music video.
They have a deal with Calvin Klein.
They have a deal with Calvin Klein. He somersaults in for a kiss like an actual baby.
There's just so much.
And there's so much. There's so much. We have a source who was at the wedding.
What? I knew you had the inside scoop. I didn't realize it was from someone who was actually at the fucking wedding.
Yes.
Wow.
I have a source.
Celebrity or regular human?
I cannot say.
Wow. Fuck.
Everyone signed an NDA.
Shit. Yeah, they did.
I have a copy of the NDA.
What?
I have place cards.
What?
I have place card photos. Yeah.
Rosebud.
Oh my God.
You've been holding back.
Bitch, I'm telling you. When I said we have boots on the ground, I meant we have boots on the fucking ground.
When she said that to me, I go, I'm not exactly sure what that saying means, but I'll pretend I do.
Yeah. This person, no, I can't say anything about
It doesn't matter as long as we have the facts.
Okay.
I mean, and you'll tell me off a mic too.
Yeah. And as long as I don't name the source, it's not even reliable information, right? So it could just be hearsay.
And okay, they made one of the most popular stories was that they made the attendees watch The Notebook.
Oh yeah, I did hear that.
It's like we have boots on the ground, but I missed that large piece.
I missed
of it.
anything that was in the news because I was like, literally.
Yeah, you're like, I'm getting the play-by-play by someone who's at the
fucking
event.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So where do we want to begin?
All right.
I'll follow your lead on this. You have more info than I do.
There's details that I don't feel right sharing, and then there's details that.
Don't dangle the carrots. Just
here's
let us
what
know.
I'll say. He either is on meth or he has fucking Parkinson's. I'm not even kidding.
I mean, I honestly hope it's meth.
I don't know which is better. I just know that he's unwell. Visibly unwell.
Because it's weird because this is the first this weekend's photos and the Calvin Klein ads was the first time when I was like, I'd actually fuck this guy. But if he's on meth, that explains that.
I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
But we all remember the video of him like tweaking.
Yep.
That surfaced.
The internet tried to hide it and we said, found it.
We said, no, sir.
Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah, he's not doing well, dude. He couldn't. From what I heard, he had some trouble getting through the vows.
I was going to say, I was like, the vows are so telling. When people can't get through the vows or if the vows are corny as fuck, that's the only time I wanted to interrupt a wedding.
He could have been nervous. But
he's also kind of illiterate.
Yeah, but it's you're repeating it verbatim.
I thought you meant like your personal vows. Because you know how sometimes people write their own?
Yeah, no.
Oh.
The vows were having to be simplified. I'm not kidding.
Oh my God. He did a special Olympics vows. Fuck.
Yeah. The vows were having to be simplified because he was going through it.
Fuck.
It was, I'm looking up the, hold on a second. Yeah, it was, according to this source, they could not believe that his family and friends were just like letting them go through this. like couldn't believe that everybody was just like acting like it's normal and just enabling the fuck out of it.
Well, that's my question, because Hailey throughout this, past year has kind of been, I feel like she sometimes recognizes Justin's shortcomings, but also realizes like, hey, I want to have like, a promo opportunities with Adidas and Levi's. I'm not saying that's the reason she's in it, but I think that she recognizes that she's getting a lot out of it, which a lot of times the woman is not in a relationship.
Right.
But like, she seems less concerned looking in photos lately. So I thought maybe she had adjusted or Bieber's behavior had improved.
I was under that assumption as well. But have you noticed that no video has surfaced of the wedding? It's all photos, no video.
Well, I was just assuming maybe they had some kind of an exclusive deal and it would be released later if they make like a fucking documentary about it or something.
Yeah, once they can like heavily edit the shit. But it's like,
fuck.
You know what I mean?
Was there any comment from your source about like Hailey like rolling her eyes, or?
I said, was anyone like, cause okay, here, hold on. From what I can tell, people were like crying in the aisles. Like the Kardashians were there and they were like crying. And
like crying because of joy.
And I was
crying?
asking, I was like crying like, is it so sad, or crying like, oh my God, how beautiful.
Right.
And it was hard to tell.
That's not good.
Yeah. It seemed supportive, but but then afterwards, Hailey came in from the ceremony to like take pictures, and everybody was like, where's the groom? And then Hailey just like left after a little while. So like they didn't take photos.
Okay.
Like, because Justin like disappeared for a second.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and then there were about like 125 people at the ceremony. Kendall, Kylie, Stormy, Chris were there.
And it was in South Carolina, just for everyone has details.
Alec Baldwin was not there.
Okay.
But Stephen Baldwin was there, and then one other Baldwin. I'm assuming it can't be Billy, because Billy's like probably in rehab somewhere. So it was Stephen and what's the other one? It's Alex, Stephen, Billy, and
let me look it up. Ted,
Zach,
Marlon,
Aiden.
Wait, fuck. Wait, I'm trying to look. What is that?
Oh, Hailey had "Till Death Do Us Part" written at the end of her veil.
Oh God, death's gonna be soon.
Yeah. Okay. Apparently,
Daniel.
Okay, so it must have been Daniel.
The illustrious Daniel Baldwin from Hawaii Five-0.
Yeah. But yeah, apparently they were trying to get through the vows, and the priest was having to change the words to the vows.
Like make them shorter?
Yeah, so that Justin could like get through it.
Oh no.
Nodding his head violently the whole time.
I mean, my God.
Yeah.
Because like he has some, well, I was going to say nice, but he has some interesting photos with Patty, his mommy.
Yeah. Oh my God, those photos scared me.
I mean, her eyes are also open so wide in them that you're like, is she on Molly?
I mean, she does love a harsh filter. I feel like she turns the lux up all the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In every photo. But
she always has the makeup job of someone who didn't always have money, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yes.
She's like, I can afford these fake eyelashes, but I don't know how to apply them correctly.
Right.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, she's still got a harsh view on life, you know? But here's the thing. I just think that, I mean, I don't know what's going on, but it seems like there's a massive lack of understanding of drug addiction. Mm-hmm. A massive lack of understanding.
From society, from
the people around him. Or they totally understand addiction, and they're so focused on not enabling, that they're like letting it happen because what else are they supposed to do but let him make his own mistakes? So that could be its own thing, you know?
But see, I thought, there's option C then, where it's like, I think people, it's like that episode of Black Mirror with Miley Cyrus, where everyone's just letting this person live this unhealthy lifestyle where they ring because they realize like this is not sustainable for this person.
Yeah.
So we're just going to let them do what they're going to do, but wring them dry for their money, for their talent, for whatever. Because Justin, it's been so long since he came out with his own album and there's so many people now depending on him. We know his dad's transparently a piece of shit. And I'm not saying his mom is, but also it's like his mom also did allow him to like, you know, sit
His
on
mom
staircases.
has written her own books,
Right.
And like I mean, I think she was a good mom. I really do.
I don't think she's a bad mom, but I think it's like, and it's almost hard to do this, especially when you go from being poor to being rich. But like, she's very much professionally Justin Bieber's mom. And there are instances, you know, I think the only thing that's like higher than Justin or being Justin Bieber's mom is God, truly.
I don't think she's professionally Justin Bieber's mom. I mean, she does like, she came up in the public eye with him because she was with him. She didn't
Right.
want to just hand him off.
I know, but like with the drug addiction, like you feel like, because like for God, like she has, like I think to her credit, has separated herself from him at times when he was acting out, and I think that's great, and that's why it makes me. Alfred's
thing.
licking vape from there.
Alfred's literally trying to jewel with me.
And but I don't know. That's because I mean she's the one source who, like, if he's obviously on drugs and she's not saying anything, that truly makes me think, fuck, no one's on his team anymore. But I think the relationship between a mother and son changes greatly when the son gets married, especially a relationship like Patty and Justin.
Well, and also like if a son is that deep in drug addiction, after a little while, when you love someone that much, it's like your heart is outside of your chest all the time. Mm-hmm. And I think you have to get focused on yourself and get focused on your own recovery, because the ways that alcoholism and addiction affect family members is just as unmanageable as the way that it affects the actual drug addict. Right. So I think part of me feels that she is in recovery in her own way. Okay. And that Scooter, I really feel like Scooter is.
Scooter's in recovery.
I feel like Scooter has like been to meetings for Justin. I really do.
Right. Scooter has, so Scooter like meaning Scooter's personal stuff with addiction, or you mean just
no, I think
he's handling Justin's stuff and the emotional turmoil it's had on him?
No, I think it's the emotional turmoil that it's had on Scooter.
On Scooter, yeah, no, I get it, because I mean, like, you know, number one, I was like, it is, as someone who has been both a friend and girlfriend to many addicts, yeah, it's after a while you're like, and then also you feel guilty, you know, because I've had instances even recently where I've had people really close to me be like, oh, I was addicted to this thing for like years, and I truly didn't know, and I feel like a fucking asshole, and I go, oh, and then I feel like I'm not a good friend. Obviously I'm not being observant enough about my friend's behavior. But additionally, I feel like for celebrities, it's always the manager who is the one who, oddly enough, maybe a spouse, but a lot of these instances, these people aren't married in my experience, but like it's always the manager who gets like the brunt of the addiction, who handles that, because managers are so full service. Yeah. And I think people don't realize, like, once you are a celebrity, like your manager, your agent is a huge part of your life, and you're probably talking to them, you know, besides the people that you live with, you're probably talking to your manager and your agent more than anybody else in your family or your friend circle, really.
Yeah.
Because I know so many managers, especially being in comedy, who have, you know, had to go and bail people out of prison, who have been there, you know, talking them out of binging on something, have been like, you know, hiding drugs or providing them with drugs to get through something. And then the next day being like, I need to drive you to rehab now. Right. Like just so many, I could list off the top of my head, like just so many people like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so that part of shit, I don't feel great about their wedding. I do think that I also received some tips about how it seems to be the consensus that they think babies are gonna help Justin.
What?
which is like, oh my God,
They're
no.
not ready. I mean, like, just even like age wise. I mean, like, and Hailey is gonna, of course, it's gonna be fun and beautiful to have the baby, but then it's just gonna be her stuck with 2 babies, one named Justin Bieber and then one named whatever dumbass name they'll pick.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh no. Anyway, yeah, I was like very excited to get tips about the wedding, and then I was very sad after I read
So
them.
wait, what other things?
Okay, the other thing is the cats. Okay,
The exotic cats.
the cats are not good. I'm gonna explain why in 2 seconds once I find the DM. Hold on.
While you're doing that, on September 3rd, and we haven't talked about Justin in several weeks, so we didn't cover this. He did post a very personal Instagram message to his now 118 million followers, which is great because that's really made a upward skyrocket since we started this podcast. He said, I started doing pretty heavy drugs at 19 and abused all of my relationships. Bieber, now 25, wrote, I became resentful, disrespectful to women, and angry. I became distant to everyone who loved me, and I was hiding behind a shell of the person that I had become. I felt like I could never turn it around. Bieber went on to say he was raised in an unstable home, and that being overwhelmed with praise so young not only gave him an inflated sense of self, but robbed him of the ability to learn basic life skills. Have you noticed the statistics of child stars and the outcome of their life? He wrote, there is an insane pressure and responsibility put on these children, he added, whose brain, emotions, frontal lobes, decision-making aren't developed yet. It's a very long thing. And, Justin doesn't love writing, but when he does, it certainly is in an Instagram caption. Mm-hmm. Bieber has credited his marriage last year to the model Hailey Baldwin, now Hailey Bieber 22, with helping him gain perspective. And he did so again in this post, calling their union an amazing, crazy new responsibility. The post was probably in part a follow-up to a video Bieber posted on Instagram last week of an emotional performance he gave at the Los Angeles church Hillsong. God is pulling me through a hard season, he wrote in the post. Having trust in Jesus at your worst times is the absolute hardest. Jesus loves you. Okay, well, that's nice.
Yeah. I mean, he's fucked. Okay.
Yeah, this is not great.
Also, we all remember when he left the monkey in Germany, right?
Yeah. I mean, even when we did that episode where I knew you were defending Justin Bieber, I was defending the Spice Girls on, what is that called? Defend Your Band?
Yeah.
Stand by Your Band.
Stand by Your Band.
So there's a podcast called Stand by Your Band. Rosebud and I competed against each other on it. And I mean, one of the ways that I knew I was going to be able to take Justin Bieber down with his long history of animal abuse.
Yeah.
Just a long, long history of animal abuse.
Yeah. And it's like stupid animal. It's like, it all seems accidental.
Right. And it's
Or just
animals
like-
that you don't even need to ever come in contact with. He goes out of his way to come in
to get
contact
these animals.
with them.
So that is so he's done it again.
Fuck.
Okay. Hey, Rosebud. First, thanks for everything. So I'm sure you've seen JB's cute new kittens. If you mention them on the podcast, I just wanted to give you a few quick facts on Savannah cats. In order to create a Savannah, an African serval has to be taken from the wild and caged so it can be bred with a house cat.
Oh my God. That seems
house
traumatic
cat-
for the house cat.
Yeah, it's fucked. The house cat, more maternal, then has to give birth to unnaturally large kittens and often dies in the process. Savannah kittens are cute, but once they reach sexual maturity, they are terrible pets because no matter the generation or how hard you wish the cat gets wild looks and domestic behavior, that's not how genetics work. Savannahs 99% of the time will begin to claw and spray everything and everyone in your house, and natural hunting instincts take over. When the cats become too much to handle, they must be surrendered to a sanctuary. Regular animal shelters cannot take them in. The wait lists at sanctuaries are long, and the majority of Savannahs are euthanized. Sorry this is so long. Since most people live in ignorant bliss and will believe whatever breeders tell them, when celebrities like JB do things like buy exotic pets, they send the message that it's cool and acceptable. Side note, declawing cats, especially exotic, makes them more aggressive. And Savannah cats require an all-meat diet, very expensive, and large outdoor enclosures.
Jesus Christ.
I said, thank you for sending this. Can you tell me where you got all this info so I can verify it came from a reliable source? I volunteer at the Big Cat Rescue in Florida, rescues abandoned and abused wild cats. We actually have a few Savannah cats. BigCatRescue.org will have links and articles. You can also find them on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much for reading and caring about this message. So that's horrifying.
Yeah, this isn't great. And I was like, a little backstory, like the Savannah cats are named Sushi and Tuna.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm like reading about this shit and just like hearing about him. And I'm just like, I started this podcast I was like such a huge fan of JB. And now I'm just like, I don't think I like him anymore. Like, I think the more I've learned about him, the more I'm like, I don't think I like you.
Oh, as a person, I've never loved him. I find him fascinating.
He's absolutely fascinating, but like, and he's absolutely talented.
No, he's like an idiot.
I'm just like,
yeah, Justin Bieber's an idiot. Yeah. And I mean, the thing is like, okay, so now they also have made an Instagram for these Savannah cats. It's called Kitty Sushi and Tuna. And Justin Bieber is running the account and was like begging fans a couple days ago to follow this. I'm trying to find the like initial message because PETA like released a statement being like, this is fucked up, because not only is it a horrific like to make these cats, it's unnatural. He's also spent $35,000 on it, which, listen, when you're rich, you can do whatever you want with your money, and I hate when people tell rich people what to do with their money. He's certainly like, he sacrificed literally his whole life to give pop music to us, and I stand by that. I think celebrities deserve the money because they have no privacy. We've seen him walk down the street. However, spending $35,000 on cats that shouldn't exist in the first place is a massive waste of money.
It just feels like a huge, like, I mean, listen, I can't expect that some guy who can't get through his wedding vows is going to be, researching whether or not it's ethical to like adopt these cats. I feel like he's shown that he's a very impulsive person. But I'm like, I don't know, man. I just kind of draw the line. Like, when it comes to animals, I'm like, bro, you gotta fucking get your shit together.
Well, so many people do this. So many celebrities are still, going to breeders and stuff. And I was actually just talking about this with some friends last night. But I know a lot of people who are very like into PC culture and being virtuous online, and then they'll, with the LGBTQ community, etc. And then they're still fucking publicly posting about waiting for a dog from a breeder. And listen, I am not. Do what you want to do, but it's like, if you're gonna be so fucking precious about your behavior in other areas and then still do things like, I'm even gonna include eating meat. Like, again, like, that's why I never try. I'm always like, I'm a piece of shit, and I just try to do some things that are good. But if you are going to be one of these people who has made it their whole public persona, like a George Takei, of just being fucking fabulous in every way, and then you're gonna eat meat and go to a breeder to get to live, which is dog rape. I mean, the contraption they use to breed is disgusting. And when there's all these animals in the shelters, I'm like, you're full of shit.
Yeah, like,
and there's some
doing?
things that we just still let go. And like, buying animals from breeders is one of them, when I think it's like a really terrible thing to do. And like, even privately, some of my friends have like wanted like, oh, I want a specific breed of animal, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to be that person, but like, that's one of the easiest things not to do, and it's so shitty. I'm like,
and also like, if that's what you want, there are rescues.
Yeah, for greyhounds and stuff like that, like different kinds of purebreds.
Literally, pretty much every kind of purebred there are.
Because beagles are saving from beagles are the type of animal that they're doing testing on a lot. So definitely there's things like that. Greyhounds, obviously, when they're retired, need places to go.
Boxers, Goldens.
Yeah.
Literally any breed you
don't
can find
need to go to
rescue.
a breeder. And if you want a puppy, you can get a puppy. To get a purebred puppy that's not a pit bull, a little difficult. But
that being said, if you have a dog from a breeder and you love your dog, I'm not saying, listen.
You're not about.
You got your dog from a breeder. It's
about.
Fine. You love your dog. They need homes too.
Yeah, for the future.
Yeah.
for the future. Just, think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's more for the, and it's also just the thing that celebrities do where they still to this day treat animals like accessories. And that's really, really bad. And also like, we're not thinking like, cause they kind of treat babies as accessories a little bit too, but it's like, yeah, they also have a whole fucking staff who's going to help them take care of all these things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah. I mean, this story is going through and reminding us of all the terrible instances that Justin has had with animals.
Yeah.
Not
I
great.
wonder if it's that they treat them like accessories or if it's that we see them that way because they're celebrities, though. I mean, you know what I mean?
It depends. I think there's people who, because there are.
So they're such a brand to us.
Right. I mean, like there are people who definitely like when Paris Hilton was carrying around and Paris Hilton, I know from a source truly loves her dogs.
Yeah.
And so, yes, it is not Paris Hilton's fault that everyone started carrying around tiny dogs like Min Pins and Chihuahuas in bags because I know people who have been to Paris Hilton's house and she has like a whole like house dedicated to her dogs, like a small size and like a full size house.
Yeah.
And like she truly does love dogs and her animals and she takes care of them. But I think you are responsible for the branding of your, like almost like the branding of your animal, just the same way that you're responsible in a certain way for the branding of yourself. Yeah.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
So I think it's overlooked. And again, like I really like, just because animal supporters are so crazy, I really try not to be too crazy about it because I think if you're not, you'll make more of an impact with stuff.
Yeah.
But like, oh my God, sometimes it's wild. So I have some more information on the wedding too. It was 154 guests, and the kind of like the famous people who were there were, it was Kendall Jenner, Camilla Morone, and Joan Smalls. I don't even know who they are. Kylie Jenner with Stormi, as you mentioned, Jaden Smith, who we forget, that was one of his craziest friends. Justine Skye, Dan and Shay, and their wives Abby and Hannah. Dan and Shay are the country duo who they just released the song
10,000 hours.
Kris Jenner and Corey Gamble. Is that her boyfriend? And Bieber's manager Scooter Braun was there.
Yes, that is her boyfriend.
Okay. Because I was watching an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians where she was introducing Corey to her daughters.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts on the song?
I'm not into it. I'm just not that into it.
Is it because it's like country or
I think it's
you hate Bieber now?
No, I think on the one hand I'm very triggered.
I'm gonna play a little bit of it while you talk about it.
Yeah, I'm a little triggered by it. Yeah. Listen, I'm still listening to it.
Like it's in your rotation or?
Yeah, no, it's still in my rotation.
I like this part.
Yeah.
I also really like country music.
I'm not as into country. I do think I saw the video first and the video just grossed me out so much. I was just like, ugh. Like, you know what? Like, here's how I feel. If you're a couple, the more you post on Instagram, the more fucked up your relationship is.
Well, and additionally, it's been documented, or statistically proven that when celebrity couples appear in either films or just like in projects together, and like we really see their sexuality or their romance, no one likes it.
Nobody likes it.
No one likes it.
Nobody wants it.
Yeah, that's like when fucking Ben Affleck and J-Lo did Geely together.
Yeah, and it's also like, what are you trying to fucking prove? Mm-hmm. Like, you love each other. Yeah. Just like do it in your house. Like, I'm so sick of their like, and I loved that about them. Remember, I loved that about them before they got back together. I was like, I love them. They're so loving. They're so like cute.
Right.
Together.
We don't want it shoved to us. We don't want it served to us.
So gross. And especially knowing that like they're both like getting paid for it. I'm just like, ugh, this is so gross. And I feel like I don't know. I'm so repelled by it. I'm repelled by the song and the music video, and like all of them are sitting there like with their wives on their laps, and I'm just like, this is fucking stupid. You guys are fucking dumb. All of you are dumb. Eat shit. I hope your marriage fails. That's how I feel. I just don't like it.
Well, the thing is, lately when I've been seeing posts with Hailey and Justin, I like Hailey more and more, but I will say the vibe that I now feel when I see them together as a couple is like Hailey is a high school senior who needs a couple more things on her resume. So she's gone to this old folks home to serve hot cereal to Justin Bieber. It has a very like nursing home, even though he's
Like
only
she's
3
getting
years
community
older.
service credit.
Yeah, it just feels like she is Justin's caretaker in every way. It doesn't feel sexual. It doesn't feel like, and again, with the thing, like even their body language, he's like, she's always holding him. The only time he even
he's
sounds
like a
like
barnacle on her.
the only time he even sounded like the alpha male was in that video clip that was just released when when she scratched his, what is it, a pink Lamborghini.
Yeah.
And, you know, he obviously was like, fuck. But then she was like, he's like, you're so cute with your pigtails and stuff. And that's the only time where, you know, and then of course in the video, she's acting like a fucking idiot, like women can't drive. And it's like,
God, you guys, I'm sorry, but Alfred literally just laid on my chest like Justin lays on Hailey's.
yeah, Alfred senses that Rosebud is upset right now. And he said, I'm going to be who you need.
Dude, I fucking love Alfred so much.
Alfred is, you know, they say don't meet your heroes, don't meet your pop icons. Alfred is just as great, if not more great than you think he is. So.
Yeah, and his breath is like way worse than whatever you're imagining.
It's so funny because I was like, I think he has classic dog breath.
Oh my God, it's wild.
It's
Just not my dog. That's what it is.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, it is like that because it's like all dog poop smells disgusting to me and makes me want to vomit except for Alfred's poop.
Same.
Like, it doesn't bother me anymore.
Same. Doesn't
at all.
bother me.
His breath doesn't bother me at all. I'm just like, he's just, I don't know.
He's the sweetest puppy boy. And he loves me so much.
He does.
And
Big
I'm
fan
one of
of
his favorite
Rosebud.
people.
This is true.
Okay, so, but also, I forgot the fucking Calvin Klein commercial.
Right.
Which there were moments of that where I was like, okay, this is fucking hot. But then I was also like, no. Just no. Absolutely not.
What parts were you absolutely not? Because I thought it was hot.
I think I'm just seeing too much of it. Guys, I'm just like, there's too much. It's too much. I don't even think that they have sex. I think that they like exchange tears.
I think they do something weird, like lick each other's eyeballs or something.
Yeah. Like, I feel like what they do is just like pal around.
Yeah, I always forget how young Hailey is because she does actually seem pretty mature. I was impressed that Justin was able to pick her up, though, because that was something that I wasn't sure that he could do. Let's see. Pulling her clothes.
I wonder how many times he like shook around and dropped her. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. The second it came out of my mouth, I regretted it. We might have to check that out.
I was trying to look for other people who were in the video. So it's who else is in it? Kendall? That's Kendall in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kendall, because they're palsy. And then, A$AP Rocky, that's who's in it.
Yeah.
I love A$AP Rocky. Okay.
I don't know. I've just had enough. I've had enough of their romance. I've had enough of romance in general. Things are not going well in my love life. So that could be part of it as well. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I kind of am in this place where it's like, I miss being that stupid about love. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, your 30s are interesting because it's like you have all of the sex appeal and none of the enthusiasm.
See, I feel like I've gotten stupider about love recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'll feel like if I meet a guy and I'm like really into him, it's like I can't even like say it. I'm just like, come on, we know how this ends.
Right. Well, I mean, it's funny because for the Guys We Fucked 300th episode, we had like our tarot cards read and like our palms read and stuff. And one of the things that someone pointed out was the guy, because I was like, I was in between two guys at the time, and I was like, is there one that's better? And the guy said to me, he's like, you always like go full, like when you're interested in someone, you always like go like press fast forward and go like, this is the one, like let's do it, let's make this work. And it's weird because I'm like not desperate in any way, and like I don't think any of my friends would describe me in that way, but I am so rarely like super attracted to someone that when I feel it, I do start putting all these things together and like making things be signs that we should be together when like they're definitely not.
Right.
So that's weird. I don't know.
I mean, I literally will take a sign and rationalize it into something that it's where I'm like, I minimize shit.
I'm looking through too. I'm like looking about who else Scooter Braun reps, and I'm like, are Dan and Shay his clients? I can't see them not being if fucking Justin and Hailey are in the video.
I mean, who are Dan and Shay? Who are these fucking people? Have they been famous for a long time?
I don't know. Let's look at here. Let me look on their Instagram.
I thought it was a soap company.
Dan and Shay, like Shea Butter.
it just sounds like a fucking soap company.
Let me look. I can't tell it. Alfred's not happy about it, that's for sure. Dan and Shay, lavender oils. Okay. So they have 990,000 followers. So that's pretty good. I mean, they look like real, oh God, I just do not like them by the looks of them. I'm trying to, who fucking reps you? It has to be Scooter. Yeah, they're pretty famous. I'm looking at the sizes of the audiences that they're playing for. They're pretty big. I think we just never know in New York City, like how famous a lot of country music stars are because it's not something that's focused on. But I think if they were like walking through the streets of Nashville, people would be like fucking losing their minds.
Yeah.
So that's,
you got to ask people in Nashville.
Yeah. Ashley Graham is with Scooter Braun. I didn't know that. David Guetta.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, Dan and Shay. They signed to Scooter Braun projects in 2018. So this
Scooter
is literally
just using Justin on his other artist projects.
100%.
Because he has to, because Justin was his first real client.
Right. I mean, and it's also like, I think it's honestly fair. Like if Justin's kind of like, he's not going to, Alfred, whatever you're doing,
are you at all concerned? Yeah.
It's just cans.
Okay.
So if if Scooter has put a lot of work into Justin Bieber, and obviously Justin Bieber has made him a ton of money, but I'm sure he's given him also a lot of headache. So I do think it's fair that if Justin is like not doing anything or making new music, that he tosses them into another client's video.
Because that's really what's happening.
Yeah, and it's transparent, but honestly, I think it's fair. Oh, and then Karlie Kloss appears on the SB Project's online roster. That's interesting because Karlie Kloss is famously the person who supposedly just had like the lesbian relationship with Taylor Swift. And that's why a lot of people are saying that was kind of like this whole online thing. What were they calling it? They were calling it like Kaler. That's what Kaler was. It was when Karlie Kloss was supposedly dating Taylor Swift. That's why she came out with You Need to Calm Down and all of a sudden started getting interested in LGBTQ stuff. Okay. And apparently the song Cornelia Street on the Lover album is about that. Fun fact, also learned today that Bad Blood from 1989 Taylor Swift album is about how Katy Perry stole 2 backup dancers from Taylor Swift, which really ruins that song for me because Bad Blood was totally like a song that I had made about me and James, and now I know it's about fucking Katy Perry stealing backup dancers, and I was like, even I can't take this seriously anymore.
Yeah.
So, fun facts.
That is so funny.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and Idina Menzel is with Scooter Braun has a very interesting client list. Oh my God. But he also made some mistakes. Like he signed Psy, who sang Gangnam Style. That's not great. Yeah, that's not a good one.
That was like an easy money pull.
Tori Kelly, Lil Dicky's co-manager. I'm surprised I haven't heard more from Lil Dicky lately.
Well, he just came out with that single about like saving the earth.
That was a while ago though, because we talked about that on here.
Yeah, it was like a few months ago.
Anyway, all right. Final thoughts. Wrap up. Anything?
Oh God, I just, I don't have a lot of thoughts. I'm tired. I've been on the road. I don't know what's going on. I feel like I mean, what's making me less lonely? I feeding my mind has been making me less lonely. Like if I start getting into my own fucking problems, it's so fucking bad for me. If I think about myself for too long, it's really bad. I have to, instead of thinking about myself, I've been doing this thing where I just go, okay, you've been thinking about your own problems and scrolling Instagram for about 3 fucking hours today. Maybe try listening to a podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe try listening to revisionist history. Maybe try like reading a book, because I truly feel like that is what makes me want to write more. It helps me be creative. It's putting new ideas into my head. So that, and then also, listen, I know I've plugged it a million times on this fucking podcast, but I've been listening to Codependent No More on tape, and that shit is so fucking good. It's so good. I was like, what did it say? There was a quote in it the other night that was like, if the person that you love can't be there for you, if the person that you love is lying to you, if the person that you love can't love you back, doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter. And she just like repeated it over, like, does not matter. And I was like, oh yeah, like it doesn't matter. Like,
it doesn't matter, like in your life, or like what is like
no,
what
like
is the
like there's nothing that you can do.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
you have no power.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it just made me go, oh, like, and I don't know how I fall back into this thought pattern of like, well, if I make myself more like this, or if I kind of like, if I just try to be less, if I try to have less needs, if I try not to say how I'm really feeling, if I try to say the opposite of how I'm really feeling, if I try to figure out how they're feeling so that then I can work around their feelings to make myself more appealing to, it's like, it doesn't matter. And I need to hear that like over and over and over again. She literally repeats it 6 or 7 times, and it wasn't until literally the 7th time that I was like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's so funny to me because like I know like you talk about this stuff, and so like I know like how your inner workings are, not obviously not fully, but like I have an idea, and then but it's like you just like it's so different from who we would expect you, like Rosebud Baker.
That's because I've like worked on it.
Right. It's like every time you say it, it's like a surprise, even though it's not a surprise.
Yeah. Well, and here's the tricky thing about it is like the more you've worked on it, the more subtle it is. The more subtle it gets.
It sneaks up on you. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense because it's found ways to disguise itself.
So like
Yeah.
at first I was all about sacrificing myself and my own needs for the needs of others. And then, or just to control another person. And then I got the first part, which is that you can't control other people, but you still have to stand up for your own needs. I missed the whole second part. Like I missed that. So like I was with someone who I would just accept how they were, and I wouldn't say what I needed. I wouldn't say what I felt. Because I was like, well, I don't need anything from them because I'm independent and I'm not codependent. And so it's like, it gets tricky. It's very, very tricky. And I think like anything, the more you look into yourself, the more you're willing to like take a hard look at like your patterns, I guess the more self-actualized you will become. I mean, I'm still working on that, but like, I don't know. I feel like if there is a purpose to my life, that's like the purpose. Because I've never gotten away with anything. Like, I feel like I've never gotten away with anything. I always have to learn the hard way.
Yeah, I don't get away with anything either. I feel you on that.
Yeah.
And I always have to do it. And like, if there's a way to do something, I never can take a shortcut. I can achieve it. I pretty much have faith that I can achieve almost anything, but I got to do it the long, hard way.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. I have to do it. I have to be very detailed about it. I can't miss a spot.
Same. Yeah.
if I do miss a spot, it's going to take 6 more years for me to fucking realize the spot I missed.
Yeah, I always feel like I kind of just like get exactly what I worked for and nothing more. I'm never like thrown a bone.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
So it's crazy. That book fully saved my life like 7 years ago, and it's kind of saving it now. I mean, my life doesn't really need saving now, but it's just helping me. I'm kind of having a second like awakening a little bit, I feel like.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So that's making me feel less lonely. How about you?
I was trying to think because I was like, I've been so crazy depressed these past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Which I've talked about a lot. I mean, I've just like been sleeping like 15 hours a day, like really like truly like the kind of depression where you are pulling, like you're setting appointments just so that you force yourself to leave the house.
Yeah.
Which is like a trick. I mean, that's a good trick if anyone's going through like depression. And again, this isn't clinical depression. This is you know,
grief.
This is like, yeah, grief depression, which is interesting because like it's been a while since I went through this. I guess when I dumped James was the last time I went through that, and then I had like 2 months in my house. But like that was a long time. Like I saw that coming, so I had more time to prepare. When this is like this was more out of nowhere. I was just surprised because I was not expecting to feel this much grief over someone I knew for such a short period of time. But this is the magic of Carl Ruiz. So I guess it's Alfred that's making me feel less lonely this week because he's such a good dog for such a high-strung, anxiety-ridden little pup. He is like so good because I've had him since he was a baby. He's so good about knowing like when it's time to nap, like when we need to lie down, and like he'll stay with like, even though I like tell him or like I'll set him up with a toy or like a meal, and I'll be like, no, you can like hang out or like you can go outside. Like mommy just needs to lay down. Like he still like just wants to like stay and like take a nap between my knees, which is the warmest spot, I suppose.
Yeah.
So that's been nice. And I've also actually been listening to some podcasts. So that did like, because I don't feel like, and I kind of like always talk about how much I hate podcasts, and I really do not like most of them, but there are a couple, and they're usually ones like with people I know. Like I listened to one with you on it, and I was like, oh, this is fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, I'll tell you off air.
Yeah, tell me off air.
So, but
we're not plugging anybody on here.
Yeah, no. And so like that made me feel better because my friends are so funny, and I think it is like if you don't actually want to interact with people, I need a lot of alone time even when I'm not depressed.
Yeah.
It's fun to hear
you feel like you've connected with your friends.
People be funny and to hear like your friends shine. I get really excited for the people I really like, and I love listening to them, and I'm like, they fucking nailed it, you know? So that's that.
Oh, that's so sweet, Corinne.
I enjoy it. Thank you.
God.
And I'm like there, and it's so funny because also I'm like, wow, you really see like the difference between a good podcast and a bad podcast.
Yeah, you do.
Because I'm like, whoa, like
you can feel it.
Yeah. I don't really listen to I've listened to maybe like 15 total podcasts that from like Guys We Fucked and Two Less Lonely Girls. I liked them all though.
Yeah. I'm probably subscribed to like 50.
Right?
Most of them are like really wild, like music and the brain.
Okay.
Like music's effect on the brain, and then like...
See, I would love to be more into learning podcasts, but for that I need to watch a documentary about it because my mind drifts, so I can only listen to conversational ones.
But that's the thing, is that I listen to it so that my mind can drift, and then when it's not, like I'm still absorbing information. Like it's like I'll tune in and I'll be like, oh, that's cool. And then, you know, I don't care. There's no story that I'm missing.
See, for me, my obsessive compulsive disorder makes me anal about missing things. So then I'll drift. And then when I come back, I have to rewind it.
Yeah.
And it ends up just giving me anxiety. So I think that's why I have trouble. Like I really need a visual really helps me to take in information. But it's always been like that. Even in school, I can't listen to a lecture. I have to have a handout too.
I know.
Very
I tried
important.
to get my boyfriend to just listen to other people giving him blowjobs. Like I'm like, if you could just listen to the sounds of a blowjob, then it'll almost be like I'm giving you one.
That's very funny.
He's visual too, or he was. He's dead now.
He's not dead. Only dead to you, Rosie. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this very special Bieber wedding episode of Two Less Lonely Girls. We're still in rehearsals with me also. We'll be getting a date very soon because they've pretty much learned all the 3 songs. Rosie's going to teach them choreography. So excited about that. You'll hear from one more of the members next week. Again, you can catch us at the we plugged it on the last episode and we're already have done it. Whoopsies. We're gonna be at
fucking
hilarious.
We're
amazing.
Rogue Island Comedy Festival in Newport, Rhode Island.
Yes.
And we will be there on Thursday, October 10th. At 7 p.m., we're doing stand-up. We're co-headlining. And then at 9 p.m., we're going to do a live podcast. So get tickets to both.
They're going to be completely different shows. And the ticket sales are like almost sold out for the first show. And then like not a lot for the second show. And we think that's because there's some confusion about which, because like, I don't know, just in a lot of times people want to see the podcast more than the stand-up because we're like forcing people to see stand-up. But they're both going to be good and they're both going to be different. And you're going to be fucking there anyway. So do it. And then I will be headlining ZANIE's Nashville Friday, October 11th and Saturday, October 12th. Those are going to be super fun shows. One show each night, 9:15 p.m. Again, ZANIE's Nashville. And I have 2 special guests on those shows with me, Jamie Kilstein and Shane Smith from Dry Bar Comedy. Really excited for those shows. All new material since you last saw me in Nashville, 100%, because I haven't been there in like, I think 2 years. And we're gonna have 2 Less Lonely Girls pins too, so bring some cash to Newport.
Bring your cash.
Bring your fucking cash. I'm sure you have lots of cash. You live in Newport.
We love you guys.
Thanks you so
for
much.
Listening.
Bye.